straight ahead on CCX News. Trash talk in Golden Valley. Residents turn out for a forum on the city's waste hauling future. Plus, comings and goings in local retail. A new Plymouth grocery store opens, while the city of Brooklyn Center loses a major retailer.
I'm sure there's a number of people that depend on this store, so I'm sure there will be a lot of people that will be dinged quite a bit by this.
CCX News starts right now. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. Brooklyn Center is losing their Target store. Both Target and the CVS pharmacy are closing on February 2nd, reportedly because of declining profits. We get more now from Eric Nelson.
It's always sad to see a store that offers so much leave a neighborhood.
The bullseye will soon be vanishing from Brooklyn Center.
It's too bad though. They're just closing.
Target is shutting down early next year, and for the city, this is a tough pill to swallow.
Overall, disappointed at first here. You never want to see a business close, especially one that employs over 100 employees.
We want to see our residents being lifted economically, so we definitely don't want to lose jobs that are in the community already. We want to be bringing more to the community.
The Brooklyn Center Target has been around since 1986 and has a loyal core of shoppers. Most were bummed out to hear the news.
This is kind of like the anchor of this little, this little location here. So really hate to see it go.
A little bit bummed. It's the one I come to most often, so it's kind of a bummer that it's closing.
City officials say they would like Target to stay in the neighborhood and would even consider a new location for the store in the future. However, they feel this one was neglected.
When you look at the metro region, you see a lot of the stores have done multiple new upgrades, and this store hadn't received those. We would have loved to see that.
The closest Target locations to Brooklyn Center will be approximately 10 minutes away in Crystal and Fridley. This will make things tougher on residents who don't have transportation.
I'm sure there's a number of people that depend on this store, so I'm sure there will be a lot of people that will be dinged quite a bit by this.
Overall, it's convenient. You can go get here quicker. Elderly, disabled people that got to walk, people that ain't got a vehicle can come here. So it'd be a loss though.
The news stings even more because Target is a Minneapolis-based company.
We're right in their backyard.
And Brooklyn Center has worked hard to repair its image and lure in new business.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think it reflects well on Brooklyn Center.
Brooklyn Center is not the only city losing a store. Target is shutting down 5 others across the U.S. and has already closed 13 earlier this year. In Brooklyn Center, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
Target will offer its Brooklyn Center employees a severance package or a chance to work at another location. Hy-Vee's continued expansion into the Twin Cities grocery store market has now made its way to the city of Plymouth.
You look at northwest Minneapolis, and it's a growing area out towards here. And I think we've been looking at this, this area of the city for a while and found a great opportunity and thought that it was time for us to get in and give the city of Plymouth a brand new grocery store.
The new Plymouth Hy-Vee along County Road 24 and Highway 55 opened its doors to customers at 6 a.m. Tuesday. The 56,000 square foot store features made-to-order sushi, a fast casual dining area, and a Starbucks. Unlike the other Hy-Vee stores in the Twin Cities, this is a smaller location that was put in an existing building once occupied by Rainbow and Cub Foods. But as Hy-Vee continues to grow its presence in Minnesota, they considered Plymouth a prime location for expansion.
And now we're at 10. We've opened 2 in the last 45 days. Our continued growth into the metro is very exciting for Hy-Vee. It's exciting for our employee owners and for our customers that we continue to give them these beautiful stores and the offerings that they want.
The Plymouth Hy-Vee will be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they will eventually employ 200 people, or 400 people rather. Plans continue to move forward to transform a Maple Grove site that used to be an old dump into an industrial warehouse. Monday night, the Maple Grove Planning Commission reviewed plans for the old Hilger transfer site that is near Zachary Lane North and 85th Avenue North. The plans are for the place to become a 200,000 square foot building called the Arbor Lakes Corporate Center. But first, it has to be cleaned up. The developer says the property has more than 30 feet of trash and old tires, and it will cost more than $5 million to clean it all up. So far, the city has received almost $2 million in grant money for cleanup, and they will work with the applicant to address the remainder of the cost. Cleanup could begin as soon as December. A big change for Honeywell employees in Golden Valley is officially underway. The company spun off its homes business into a new publicly traded company called Resideo. Today, that new company announced it will move its headquarters from the Twin Cities to Austin, Texas. Honeywell has about 1,700 employees in Golden Valley, where the company has long run its home temperature controls business. A company spokesperson says it's unclear how many Golden Valley employees the Resideo company will affect. Resideo will own the Golden Valley location, with Honeywell renting the space. About 800 Honeywell employees remain in Golden Valley. And if you've driven by Becker Park in Crystal, you might have noticed construction is about to get started there. The park will be undergoing a major transformation in the upcoming months. The softball fields are going away, and the bandshell is too. Developers are turning the park into a destination playground and building restrooms and a performance area. The revamped park should be ready for the public sometime next summer. Still ahead on CCX News, Golden Valley is the latest suburb to consider the hot topic of trash collection. We'll take you there up next. Plus, the Wayzata girls soccer team faces Stillwater in a shootout in the state semifinals. But first, no weather surprises this Halloween. It will stay dry and then turn slightly cooler on Thursday. And now to an issue that usually draws a passionate response, deciding whether to allow organized waste hauling, which limits who residents choose to pick up their garbage. In Golden Valley, the city is exploring that topic. Residents packed into a forum Monday night at Golden Valley City Hall. They heard from a variety of perspectives, from cities like St. Anthony that switched to organized hauling to others like Big Lake that decided against. For Jean and John Lavelle, they would like to see fewer trucks in their neighborhood. They say they have about 7 different garbage haulers covering only about 30 houses. Then you factor in yard waste and recycling pickup.
If you multiply that by how many times they go down the street one side, come back the other side, it means we get about 40 garbage trucks going up and down our street every Friday.
This has been an interest in Golden Valley for a few years, and we've never quite resolved the discussion. The other issue that's happening too is that there are a lot of changes going on, regulatory and in the marketplace, with recycling and with organics. So now is a good time for us to be looking at this issue.
Hennepin County is expected to mandate the cities offer curbside organics recycling by 2022. Other examples of cities that have organized collection include Bloomington and St. Louis Park. Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, and New Hope considered organized collection but did not move forward. A Maple Grove woman hopes to be an advocate for her 2 adopted sons. Each have fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. Sharon Katula has been accepted into the Minnesota Partners in Policymaking program. She was chosen from a statewide pool of applicants. Through the program's training, Katula hopes she can get more information out about fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, since the children with the disorder are oftentimes misdiagnosed.
50% of pregnancies are unplanned. So the education piece needs to get out there, not just to people who adopt children, who are already parenting children with these challenges, but before, because it's 100% avoidable. And it just saddens me to look at and on a daily basis deal with my sweet boy's challenges that never ever had to exist.
Katula's training will last 8 months. Still ahead, an elementary school principal in Plymouth with an entirely different look. But first, the Maple Grove football team is building momentum as they get set for a big playoff test this week. Jay Wilcox is in next.
I'm Jay Wilcox with sports. The Wayzata girls soccer team rolled past Blaine in the state AA quarterfinals last week. Things were much tighter in the Trojans' semifinal game against Stillwater. Late first half, a foul in the box gives Wayzata a penalty kick, and Megan Maleka drills a shot for a 1-0 Trojans lead. The Ponies get a penalty kick in the second half, and Abby Bajan sneaks it past Madison Lowe to tie the score. After 2 scoreless overtimes, the shootout goes through 9 rounds. Lowe with a huge save, opening the door for Wayzata to win. And Elizabeth Page hits the game-winning shot for the Trojans as they advance to the state final, where they'll face Minnetonka for the 3rd time this season.
Well, it was really nice that Maddie saved it, so I wasn't too nervous. And obviously, having so much practice, I was like, you know, I'm going to shoot it the best I can, and whatever happens, happens.
I'm not a big fan of playing someone 3 times during the course of the season, and we've already played Tonka twice. I have a lot of respect for him. But if you're going to play him for the 3rd time, I guess there's not a better time than to play him in the championship game.
Wayzata plays Minnetonka Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock for the Class AA Championship. Well, a handful of local teams are still alive in the football playoffs. That includes Maple Grove in Class 6A. The Crimson are set for a big challenge this week. There is momentum building for Maple Grove. They pulled out a last-second thriller over Wayzata in the regular season finale, then played one of their most complete games in a 28-0 win over White Bear Lake in the first round of the 6A playoffs.
You know, coming off Wayzata was a really good win. You know, we really weren't expecting to be able to come back here and play at our home field, and it was actually quite a treat to come back here, play in front of our great fans here. And you know, we knew White Bear Lake was going to be tough, but we knew if we got him going, you know, we could get up on him, and we just kind of dominated him the whole game, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Maple Grove's record sits at 4-5, so it hasn't all been smooth sailing. The ups and downs have made this team tougher.
So I think we've grown a lot. We've made a lot of adjustments. We've had a lot of kids have to step into new roles and do a lot of things. So I think, yeah, having the schedule we've had and how tough a schedule it's been has really made us, I think, into about as good as we could be at this point.
The Crimson take on top-ranked Lakeville North this week. They lost to the Panthers during the regular season, but learned they can play with the best.
Defensively, what we learned is to be gap sound, because if we don't maintain a certain gap, it can end up being like really bad.
So it's the little things that kind of made us end up losing that game, but we know that they're beatable, and we know that, you know, they're probably scared of us coming into their place. Like, why did they have to get us, one of the only teams that's played them close throughout the year? So it's obviously going to be a grind, but I think we all know on this team that if we give it our all, we have them.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of the pressure does go on Lakeville North. I know this has been a year that they've really circled for a long time. They got a special class, and so when you're playing at home and you got high expectations, we kind of know if someone comes in and kind of puts you on your heels, that puts a lot of pressure on you. So yeah, I think we're going to go in with a smile and hope we play our best, and if we do that, feel good at the end.
They're ready to have some fun. Maple Grove has nothing to lose as they try to topple Lakeville North this week. Maple Grove plays at Lakeville North at 7 o'clock on Friday. Well, the Cooper football team plays for a spot in the state playoffs Friday night when they face Spring Lake Park. On this week's Sports Jam show on CCX, John Jacobson profiles 2 of the Hawks' most dangerous offensive weapons. Here's a clip from that story.
Cooper wide receivers PEDRO AMOUSSOU and ADRIAN Adams have proved to be a dangerous pair for opposing teams to defend this fall. The 2 seniors combined for 15 receiving touchdowns in 8 regular season games, with each guy averaging more than 22 yards per catch.
We do a lot of bubble screens, as you guys know. We can also go deep to Adrian and a couple other guys, and I think we're always looking to score when we touch the ball to get a big gain, so I think that's what really makes us special.
The race is on, and he is gone.
I love catching the deep pass because I like how risky it is, and if I get it, I get it. If I don't get it, then uh-oh. So I just like the risky feeling.
AMOUSSOU leads the Hawks in receptions. The 3-year starter converted to wide receiver from quarterback after his freshman year.
You can watch the rest of that story and much more this week on Sports Jam. It airs through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on CCX and online at ccxmedia.org. Highlights from section volleyball coming up Wednesday starting at 4 here on CCX News. Shannon, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jay. Today in Local Vote 2018, we wrap up our candidate statements. Counting today, you have heard from 86 candidates running for office. We finish up with one of the highest profile races in the state. We reached out to both candidates running to represent District 3 in the U.S. House of Representatives, and the incumbent, Republican Eric Paulson, recorded a statement.
Hi, I'm Eric Paulson, and I continue to work to transcend the partisan divide to get things done that are important to Minnesota. I'm number 3 in the entire Congress for being the most bipartisan in getting bipartisan co-sponsors for my bills. Whether it's repealing the job-killing medical device tax, passing new life-saving laws to stop sex trafficking, protecting the boundary waters, or helping our seniors on Medicare get access to the therapies they need, I've delivered results and gotten the job done. And our economy is booming again thanks to tax reform, which I helped write. I'm Eric Paulson, and I need your vote so I can continue working across the aisle to get important things done on the issues that matter most.
We have reached out to all of the candidates running for local office in an effort to keep you more informed. But there's a volunteer who also has a desire to get more information out there about local politics.
A lot of times in cities, people don't keep up with things, and things get passed, and then they find out about what's going on.
So Juanita Hoff started a show back in 2004 called Northwest City Politics, where she talks with city leaders about what's going on in the 9 Northwest suburbs. The show is a labor of love that Juanita produces regularly over at CCX Create. Juanita is wrapping up interviewing more than 30 local candidates running for city council and mayor.
The League of Women Voters does very good debates, and we're not doing a debate. It's just an opportunity for them to introduce themselves to people in their city so they know more about them.
Northwest City Politics is on channel 859 every Wednesday night at 8:30. And politics is a topic of discussion in the Hoff household too. Her husband Andy has been on the New Hope City Council since 2005. Up next, why a local elementary school principal in Plymouth feels a little colder atop his head. Here's a way to show off all of those costumes that you've been working on. Post photos of your little ones when they're trick-or-treating on Halloween to social media and then tag CCX Media on Facebook or on Twitter. We'll look at those and we will air them on Halloween. So we look forward to seeing all of those creative costumes and of course the cute kiddos in them. Finally, a Plymouth elementary school principal has a new look and it's just in time for Halloween. Now here's a video clip showing Birchview Elementary Principal Sam Fredrickson shaving his head and his beard as part of a challenge. Mr. F, as students call him, told students if they raised more than $20,000 for the PTA in the school's fun run, then he would remove all of the hair from his head, and he meant that literally. The students raised $35,000, so they went way over that goal. He now has a completely bare head to start the winter. Money raised goes to field trips, grants for teachers, and community building at Birchview Elementary. Now, Mr. F says his hair is already growing back, which I guess is pretty good because his next challenge involves a polar plunge. So good luck with that. That's all the news we have for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here again tomorrow starting at 4 o'clock.